that one. But to be respectful, I appreciate it. And the ladies are outstanding, I must say. So thank you for all the DMs and thank you for all the messages and the people that I met this week. They've been really great. We have a lot of great stuff. Kristy Mickelsen is here with us via satellite. We'll be bringing her in a few minutes. She is a um, just a fantastic human being. We'll just put it to you that way. I've had the opportunity to speak to her on many occasions, and I was on a show, her podcast, a couple of weeks ago called the WWAA podcast. She is an author, and she also is a strong advocate for cancer awareness, lupus, and autism. And like I said, all around great girl. And you're going to have the pleasure, we all are, of hearing and seeing her in the next few minutes. Before we get to that, though, and we got our Happy Easter stuff out there. It's 2024, if you can believe that. So I remember Easter's past where I would look for the eggs and get the chocolate. I would always eat anybody else out there always ate just the ears on the rabbit, on the chocolate rabbits. I preferred white chocolate, but even on the other ones, I just always, it was the ears, man. That was the ones that you ate. And then you had that crazy plastic grass that would get stuck in the frigging carpet and you can't get stuck in the vacuum and everything else. So I just remember of family members that are not with us anymore. And a lot of you might feel the same way out there, but it's the memories. If you keep those people, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be an aunt or an uncle or a grandfather or grandmother, it could be a child, it could be anyone from your past, family, friends that you remember Easter's past, and you had times with them, good times, bad times, food fights, whatever it was. I mean, but you had times. So if you remember that up here, but if you keep them in here in your heart, then they don't really go away. They're always there with you forever. They don't drag you down, they enlighten you. I bring those that are not with us anymore that I miss very much because family is everything. Family is of paramount importance to me. It is important, like you wouldn't believe, in my opinion, that family comes first because you don't choose your family. When you come into this world, you don't choose your family. You don't even choose your name. There you are. You know, you woke up this morning. You opened up two gifts, your eyes, right? You're already ahead of the game. There's some people that didn't wake up this morning and see how what of a beautiful day it is right here in New Jersey and probably all over the country. A lot of people didn't see that. So consider yourself not lucky, but blessed, whether you're religious or not. I mean, I'm not religious unless you consider stubbing my toe and then yelling Jesus Christ a few times. Then I'm religious, but I'm not really spiritual or anything like that. But being that it's Easter Sunday, I want it to be nice. And yeah, even the Mean Machine has a heart. Why not? You are listening to New Jersey 88.6 FM WGAT from the Great Garden State. This is the Mean Machine Radio Show, and I am Gregory Joseph, your host. Like I said, Kristy Mickelsen is going to join us in a few minutes, but right now, I didn't do this last week, and it was a great show last week with Kim Kelly that we had on, and we're going to have her on back too. Great guests coming up in the pipe. I will tell you about that a little bit. But for right now, I have to bring back this segment that a lot of people have asked me to bring back. So here we go. There it is. Emails from females. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Uh, emails I'm talking about, obviously, but I didn't even realize how popular that segment has come, and not just for the ladies that have sent stuff in, but actually the guys that want to hear what the girls are saying. So I think that that's pretty cool. So we're going to stick with that segment, and I'm going to read it right off the little prompt. You guys can't see it, but I mean, I've got pictures this week. Not that I'm some, wonderful guy and everything, even though chicks dig me, and that's cool. But it was just they sent pictures and they sent, I mean, all sorts of. Yeah, you don't even want to know what they sent. Um, it's uh, it's very flattering, I guess you could say. Um, like I said, even the ones that did, but just the fact that they took time to put electronically pen to paper just to reach out or just say hello. It's not all, like flirty and everything like that. A lot of times it's just like trying to get information or offer to have me read some copy for them or make an appearance as far as my voice. My voice will make an appearance. I'll stay here. And so sometimes it's just the inquiries and that kind of thing, guys and girls. So, like I said, I met a lot this week, and it's been very interesting. I got to show you this one picture, though. I mean, she says she doesn't mind, and her name is, well, this is what she put. Let's see. I mean, If this is really what she looks like, this is the kind of stuff. This is no bullshit. This came right out of my email. Uh huh. Yeah, she's ugly. But the point being is that this is the kind of stuff that sometimes, I mean, hey baby, not everybody could be the meme machine. You know what I mean? It's the way it goes, bro. Anyway, even if this, let's say this really isn't her, but she took the time to send this to me, and I had it traced back and everything. It's not AI. It's not that. I'm like, God damn. Unfortunately, I don't like blondes that much. Sorry, but she's a beautiful lady. But let's see what's it. What's up here? What's up here? What's in here? That is what would shine. That's where your real beauty comes in. For all those that go, oh, I should have sent a picture. I don't do that kind of stuff. It's fine. I just was showing. I'm goofing around, but I do get stuff like that all the time. Her name is Lana, so I give Lana a little hello from New Jersey. She asked for a New Jersey hello, and I'm like, what the hell is a New Jersey hello? Now I figured out what she wants. So, all right, Lana, here you go. I'm going to do it once, and then that's it. Hey, how you doing? All right, there you go. That's your little Easter present. That was an Easter egg. See what I did there? Easter egg. And all right, good. So, anyway, emails from female. So here's the first one. Hi, Greg. We enjoy your show, and she put in parentheses we. It's her and her daughter actually watch me. So that's pretty cool. I guess I'm becoming relevant to a new generation, unless you gave her money to watch. But either way, that's fine. We'll pay that out later. And it says my name is Marianne, and she didn't give her daughter's name, which is fine. And we found your show by accident on YouTube. Uh, However, you got to find it. It's fine. It's the Mean Machine Radio Show, and it's on YouTube. It's on satellite radio, uh, and of course, we're on Instagram and TikTok and all these other things. So, uh, and it's not even my favorite thing, but to stay relevant and to have people that I'm on Twitter a lot. X, I put a lot of stuff on there. It's at Gregory Joseph 70. But that being said, it's not something where I enjoy it that much on there. I use that as a way to just to get people where I want them to go, to be relevant. There might be people that are on Instagram that would really love the show, and they don't have TikTok, or they don't go on YouTube, or they don't have Facebook, or what. I mean, everybody's got Facebook. There's nobody left on Facebook that was born before, or I should say, after 1995. So that's kind of drifting that way. And there might not be a TikTok much longer. Oh, well, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. But they see all this stuff. And what she's telling me here, she's asking me, she's like, well, is that your real voice? Yes, it came with the body. But yeah, no, it's my real voice. I don't have a voice changer. I don't do anything like that. I turn up the gain a little bit because I have a very kind of a low gravelly voice and everything, just so you can hear it. But no, that's my voice, and I appreciate it. She said that she listens to that. Not even always what I'm saying, just wants to hear my voice. Another lady called it a buttery voice. I have no idea if that's good or bad, and I hope it's low calorie, but it's definitely a buttery voice if that's what you say. But anyway, I appreciate your email. And like I said, there's a lot of the ones that I get, but obviously I can't read them on the air. It's but very flattering. And so thank you. Like I said, every one of you ladies, every one of you guys, everyone that takes the time out of their life to reach out to me, to say hello, to inquire about things. Outstanding. Thank you so much. I really mean that. And we got so many. I had this week alone, I think it was something like 716 new subscribers. Unbelievable. And this was in like a 48 to 72 hour period. I did that spaces thing, which I hardly ever do. And I was on one the other night as a guest speaker, and it just shot up. It really did. I got tons of DMs and everything. Like I said, but this isn't about me. It's about that more people are finding out who I am. I've been around for a long time, been on the air for a long time. You just never saw me because we didn't stream back then. We didn't, do things like that. But now we're doing that. And so when we have a guest, which is as often as possible, always great guests, then we call that an episode. And so you'll see an episode, and that'll be on YouTube and then on Spotify and on iHeartRadio. Anyway, I'm going to cut out all the other ones that I was going to do in all the emails because I want to give more time to our guest because she deserves it. And she, like I said already, she's a great lady. And I'm hoping that people are watching this, whether you're watching it when we're live or you're watching it on rerun or on YouTube, that you try to get out as much as you can out of the guests that we have because they're real. This show is not the nice machine. This show is about letting it loose, saying what you have to say, because a lot of people have been seen but not really heard. I'm giving my platform, my listeners in the New York, New Jersey area, I'm giving people a chance to say what they have to say. Can they do that on their own? Yeah, of course they can. Can they have their own YouTube page or podcast or whatever and do? Yeah, of course they can. But this is a chance for not only thousands of people to watch you, but thousands and upon thousands going forward that'll be able to hear you in a completely different market than you might be in. And I'm giving that. I'm that's my olive branch. That's my way of saying, here you go. Say what you got to say because you're important too. Real people talking about real subjects, which we're going to get into in a little while. But anyway, we have to go to break. I just wanted to get that out there. So as you're enjoying your Easter dinner, or whatever else you're having there, and later on, of course, your food coma, be careful with that. Take your got to do your little blood thing there. Make sure everything is good, so that way you could eat some more shit later on. That's the way we usually do it. But in any event, Kristy Mickelsen waiting in the wings. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. It's just going to be a quick audio break with a commercial, and then we will have our beautiful young lady will be on with us. So I'm going to stay tuned for that. And we welcome you. Thank you for being here. It's the Mean Machine Radio Show on March 31st, 2024, Easter Sunday, right here in the Garden State. So stay tuned to that.
Tune into the Mean Machine Radio Show in New Jersey for real talk with no BS. We're real people telling it like it is. Get the raw truth on all things in society, life, and culture. Join us for brutally honest guests, banter, and no-nonsense advice. The Mean Machine Radio Show, where life gets real.
Let's go! Like this.
Tune into the Mean Machine Radio Show in New Jersey for real talk with no BS. We're real people telling it like it is. Get the raw truth on all things in society, life, and culture. Join us for brutally honest guests, banter, and no-nonsense advice. The Mean Machine Radio Show, where life gets real.
Let's go! Like this.
All right. So we are back. Welcome to the Mean Machine Radio Show. We are here live, New Jersey 88.6 WGAT. I am Gregory Joseph, your host. Welcome to your Easter Sunday of 2024. We have a special guest for you today, as we are in the middle of season 2. A lovely young lady, and she is a best-selling author. You can find her stuff on Amazon and, of course, actually all over the world. You could check her out, bookstores everywhere. She's also a advocate, big time advocate for cancer awareness, for autism, and for lupus. Her name is Kristy Mickelsen, and we're going to bring her in right now. So, as promised, there she is. Hello,
Hi,
Chris.
Greg. How are you?
Good. How are you? Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter, and I'm doing well. It's good to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
You are quite welcome. It's an honor. So, you heard your intro there, and
I
I
did.
believe that was pretty accurate. I wanted to say thank you in front of everybody, well, everyone listening and watching, that I was on your podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I had so much fun. It was so good to just be able to belt out different things and not have to hold back at all. I didn't have to,
Absolutely.
and it was just you guys, just you and Axel. It was just great, and
Oh, thank you. Thank you
that
so much.
yeah, it was great. And it's good to be with a professional. You are a professional. You have the mic, you have the camera presence, that kind of thing. Not saying that other people can't, but you can. It's so refreshing when it's with someone that you don't have to hold their hand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
exactly where the breaks are, where the commercials are, where the gaps are. And so it's a pleasure to have someone on that's a professional and
Oh,
a and
thank
an
you.
and an author. So you look lovely and you smell terrific. I just wanted to
You're
tell you
damn
that.
right I do.
And a shy little thing, by the way. Uh, so, anyway, why don't you be so kind, if you could, Christy, to let our audience, my audience, I should say, but now it's ours. We're sharing it here in the New York, New Jersey area on WGAT. Introduce yourself. Tell them who you are and what you do. It's all yours. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much for the mic, number one. And hello to all of the listeners out there. My name is Kristy Mickelsen. I am a romance book author, and I'm an advocate for causes such as cancer, autism, and lupus awareness. Really quick, I just want to let everybody know that you can find my books on Amazon.com and other online retailers. And you can follow me on most social media platforms, including x.com at Christy Books. I am a mother of two wonderful young adult autistics. My son is high functioning, and my daughter is moderate severe. And those are not the terms that people use these days, but I need everyone to please realize that my children were diagnosed 20 some odd years ago. So I am not politically correct on the terms that are used today. But yeah, I'm a mother of two autistics, and I am a lupus patient that went undiagnosed for over 10 years. So I have a lot I can say about that. And I am an advocate for cancer because my father passed away from renal cell carcinoma back in 2011.
Oh,
So
I'm
that's
so
a little bit
sorry.
about me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm sure that you missed. During my intro there, I had mentioned the importance of family, and even those that have departed, you still keep them in your heart, and so that way they never actually left. And
Absolutely.
that's how I cope with it. I don't know if other people do, but it's very eloquent the way that you're saying it because, by the way, you're not politically correct. That's why you're on this. By the way, if you want to be, you asked me a couple of weeks ago, what does it take to be on this show? Well, that's number one. Number two, if you hate the Dallas Cowboys, that's always good. Number three, if you hate the Boston Red Sox, even better. And number four, we've narrowed it down to if you could just find your ass with two hands, pretty much you could be on this show. And I'd like to watch. No, I'm kidding. So that just to bring in some levity, you this is your life. This isn't something where uh what you're talking like theoretically or what you'd like to do or what you've read. You're living the life, Christy. I mean, this is real and this is you.
Absolutely. You get no fakeness with this woman right here. I tell you that. Um, I don't know where you want me to start, Greg, but I'm an open book. So you ask me a question, and I'll give you the answers, and we're gonna go
Wow.
from there
An
because
open book. Nice
I am
segue.
an open book, sweetheart.
And I got to tell our people, and I'm telling you the truth, and so will Christy. We are unscripted. We do not rehearse, nothing like that. We want it to be natural. We want it to be organic. And I
Absolutely.
guess the best way to start, Christy, is from the beginning. So we know that you're Kristy Mickelsen. We know that you're an author. How did you get there? Uh, like a little bit about your journey, if you don't mind.
Sure. And thank you again for asking. Well, back I'm gonna go all the way back. Let's tell everybody a little bit about this here. Back in high school, I used to write some goofy little stories for my friends, and we thought we were the cool kids. We thought we were awesome, and we'd write these cool, sometimes sexual stories to kind of pass the time and not do
I
our
like
work
it
in
already.
school. Not do our work in school, and we'd write some silly stories, and I would do one part, and a good friend of mine would do another, and we'd put it all together and make a book out of it. So I kind of dropped that though when I got married. I ended up getting married when I was 18 years old, and I had my first baby when I was 19.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, I grew up really, really, really fast and everything. I had to because I ended up with two children with autism. My son, again, when he was born premature. He was not breathing. He was blue. He had an ABCAR scale of 4, which means he was not very healthy. And as he was growing up, he would pass out. He would turn blue. We were at the LA County Fair one time, and he would turn blue, and he's laying on the floor and he's going through seizures. And we never knew what was wrong. The doctors always thought, oh my goodness, he's going through baby temper tantrums, but we don't know why. Years later, we find out he has autism, and what he was going through at that time, even as a baby, was autism meltdowns. And I've had to grow up really fast. I had to learn to be a voice for my son, everything. So, moving forward a little bit, 2 years later, I have my daughter who is also autistic, except she's on a different part of the spectrum. And here I am, I'm being the mom, I'm being the voice for my kids, I'm making sure they get an education, I'm doing everything that I can when life throws me a sucker punch and I get told that one of my best friends, my hero, my dad, is diagnosed with stage 4 renal cell carcinoma. Well, I got hit with some strong emotions, let's put it that way, some very strong emotions at the time. And my parents didn't have a lot of money to help pay for those cancer treatments because back then the pills that my dad had to take, which was Nexavar, which is it was a trial back then of a chemotherapy for kidney cancer, was $3,000 a month. And they didn't have the money, so I moved my family back into my parents' house to help care for them, to help care and take care of some of the financial burden from my mom. And I didn't have a lot of friends that would come over because my children are autistic. Nobody understood what my kids went through or the meltdowns. And I was going through a lot of anger and depression and loneliness and being scared because my daddy was my hero. I couldn't help my hero. My dad was crawling across floors. My dad could barely eat because he had blisters on his tongue from the chemotherapy treatments. So I didn't know how to take that anger and that depression and that rage out. So I started writing journals. And my son's a little bit older by then. He's like 5 or 6. And I started writing journals about everything that I felt because I didn't know what else to do to get those feelings out. And my son walked in and he's all, Mom, why don't you try writing professionally? I was like, son, I don't know what I'm doing. This is just me writing some stuff out. No, seriously, Mom, try writing professionally. You've always dreamed about doing it. Just do it. Son, I don't know what I'm doing. I just kept going back and forth with him.
Right.
And then pretty soon he looked at me and he's all, well, if you can give up on your dreams, well, I guess I can give up on mine. And I looked at him, I'm like, no, you're not going to play that with me, kid. You're not going to do that. So I started taking my journals and taking bits and pieces of it. I made it into a book called 9 Months to Autism. And it was about how my kids were diagnosed with autism, some of the struggles we went through, and even a little bit about my dad's cancer battle is in that book. And I just wrote it out, sent it into some publishing houses, and some of them were like, okay, if you re-advise this, if you redo this and redo that, yeah, we'll publish it. I was like, I'm not going to change my life. That's my life you're talking about.
Well, what did
You
they
are n-
want to? They wanted you to change what actually happened, or change names, or what did they want you to do? Actually, to
They
change.
wanted me to, number one, lengthen some of the stories, but number two, there's a part in the book where I'm talking about uh, fighting the school board because they were told my daughter at one point that she could never learn, that she could never get an education because she is autistic. And they wanted me to change that to make the school board look better. I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Wow,
No,
I can't even believe they asked that. Now, this is in a regular public school. Is this for like a special school that they were telling you
they
this?
they were in a public school
Okay.
and they wanted my daughter to go over to a certain autistic school. And I'm maybe being stubborn, I don't know, but I refuse to do that because my children deserve the chance to be included just like everybody else, and they had deserved a chance for education. So I refused to move my daughter. And so when I put that part in the book, the publishing house is like, you can't say that about the school. I'm like, well, crap, I can't. I am going to say exactly what happened so that other parents can see what I had to do and had to go through in case they ever have to go through it too.
Okay. So it was not just thinking of you; it was for you're
Is for
pioneering something that's for others to follow, if need be. It sounds like, which is very unselfish considering what you were going through.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to be the voice for others that couldn't be a voice because maybe they didn't know how to be a voice.
Right.
Maybe they didn't know how to fight for their kids. So I refused to listen to that publishing house, and so I found out that I can publish for free on Amazon, and that was how I got my start. Was I put up a book called 9 Months to Autism, and it's just a very short and very, very green rookie book, meaning there's a lot of mistakes in it. I'm not going to lie to people. There's a lot of
Yeah.
grammar mistakes.
But
And
it was
then,
honest. If it was from the heart, I mean, people understand that it's raw, but it's real, and that's
absolutely.
synonymous with raw. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. And that's why I left it there because I've been told over the years, well, you could take it down and change it if you want it. No, I am not going to take it down and change it
Why would
because
you want to? That's your story. I mean, come on.
it's my
Right?
story. And even with the mistakes, Craig, even with mistakes, that shows me where I started and where I'm going. It shows me the progress and the growth. So why should I change that? That's how I started. You know what I
Yeah. How
mean?
do you? Yeah, I do know what you mean. How can you gauge how far you've come if you can't see where you were? And it's kind of a reverse thing. You don't know where you're going. If you keep looking back, you can't go forward. Well, it's nice to know that I'm not going to forget where I started or where I come from. That's just as important and
Exactly.
part of your journey. It's cumbersome when you have to deal with people that don't get that because they're empathizing or they're sympathizing or both or kind of just, very veiled attempts to whatever. But you have to tackle all that and then deal with yourself, the stuff with your
Yes.
father, the stuff with your children. I mean, those are just one gut punch after another. And it's a testament to you, even though
Oh,
you didn't
thank
even
you.
get into the whole story yet. The fact that you can still walk around and smile and do things for others and share your stories, it's a courageous thing. I've said that. I use that. It's not an overused word, but it is courageous. You could have just said, I want to distance myself from all this stuff because I need to heal. I need to be by myself. I need to, yeah, and you didn't do that. You went completely different because that's a big heart right there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean that.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't even know how to say it, but the fight with publishing houses and the fight with school boards, I'm like, no, I'm stronger than this crap. I'm going to do what I feel is right, and I'm going to do what I think I need to do. So I wrote the book, 9 Months to Autism. I put it out there, and dang it, it surprised the crack out of me because I'm telling you right now, it got sales. And I'm like, what in the world? People are actually buying this? you
What
know?
are what are sales? What are I thought you said I'm
right?
on a boat. Yeah, I mean that's great. That's
So
awesome.
people started buying it, and I was like, okay, well, if they're gonna buy that, that's full of grammar mistakes. Like I said, I don't lie about my work. It's full of grammar mistakes. If people are gonna buy that, what else would they buy? So I had this other story in my head from a time when I was homeless because we had went through some financial issues and we lost our home. And we ended up living between hotels and one time a little part out on the street in a car. I was in the car and it was only for like a day or two, but I still took those feelings and the emotion that I had and I wrote it into a story, changed some things, made things a little more fictional, but the very first page of that book was very, very real from myself talking about how I was frustrated with being homeless. And I made that into a story, a love story about a older doctor who needed a nanny, and she ends up getting the job. It's a long story. If you check out Lady for Hire, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I want to
But
hear about the nanny. No offense. I have a feeling where this is going, but no, I'm kidding. Like I said, but yeah, tell me about you using your own life experience. That's why nonfiction is not only more interesting, but that's real life. That's real. You're just putting
absolutely.
thoughts, feelings, and situations of your life onto paper or electronic. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing.
Onto onto paper, and I didn't want a lot of people to actually know that it was real. So I went ahead and changed it to a fictional story and it started selling even more. That's everybody's favorite book. And in my
Sure.
head, I'm like, why?
Nine
Because
months. 9 months to autism. That one you're talking about.
no, I'm Lady Fire. I'm on Lady Fire.
You're on. Oh, all right. The juicy stuff. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
What was I
That's okay.
thinking?
I mean,
Um,
come on, Greg, get with it.
hey, look. I just think about like I don't want to. You know, overspeak or speak out of turn. It's just so many things come like when you say, well, there was a lot of grammatical errors and stuff like that in there. Have you ever gotten texts from people on a daily basis like I do? They can't spell worth a shit. So you're worried about what you have? Does anybody actually look at what they're sending? They just send it. It's whoever invented spell check. I like to run them over. Now, I'm just saying it's horrible because it's trust me, that's not people get the gist of the story. A couple of gaffes here and there with I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's all that. Do you have pictures in the book? Because I don't read really well. Is there
No
pictures?
pictures.
No
No
pictures?
pictures in the book.
I'll send you some. I get a lot of pictures. I'll send you some. That'll juice it up. No, I'm kidding.
There we go.
Then we'll all be arrested eventually. Ah, fuck it. All right, but go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, Lady for Hire started making a lot of sales. And then all of a sudden, I just fell in love with the challenge of the industry. There's a lot in the industry that people don't understand. And I fell in love with the challenge of it. And it's become my career since.
Wow, that's amazing. All right. Well, so that was the part where you're talking about becoming an author and that kind of thing. But I pretty much would like to know, and I'm sure other people will before we go to our first break, that what exactly is the Like, how do you go from just telling stories about that and putting it into paper to actually, like you said, you know what? I want to become even more visual. Now I'm going to have a face for and a voice for, for other people because they can only read that on demand. But to be able to have something more interactive where they could visually see you or other people, or maybe even speak to you, is that how your podcast was born? How did that come about? Actually,
Actually, I was on a podcast, Billy D's podcast about 2 years ago,
mm,
and Billy D's fell in love with the story of how I got started, but also about the autism advocacy and the fact that my dad had cancer and, how I wrote my next book, Christmas to Remember, based on the emotions that my mom had. And so he's all, "You have a story to tell. Why don't you start a podcast?" And I told him, I don't have the money to start a podcast because I didn't know how to start it or anything like that. And he walked me through it. And we started the podcast. I have a co host, pro wrestler Axel Savage. We have a podcast and we talk about writing, wrestling, advocacy, accountability, alcohol and depression. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we talk about. And it's made a world of difference to a lot of people because they have a chance to come on, get a little recognition for themselves, and also tell their story. There's a lot of people that are going through a lot of depression and a lot of anxiety and things that they have a hard time talking about in real life. So WWAA was born, and like I said, it's taken off. A lot of people love coming on, listening to the stories. We have some wrestling stories that are kind of funny sometimes, and then we have some episodes that get serious. Sometimes you cry from them. Sometimes you'll laugh. It just depends on the episode. And I thank you so much for asking about WWAA podcast.
yeah. I mean, what does that stand for again? Tell me again.
Writing, wrestling, advocacy, and accountability.
We have a store like that, except it's called Wawa. It's very similar to what you have there. Yours is just Wah. Now, I've always said, and I figured, you know what, the way that it looks on there, it's as if when I do a double take, or the first time I saw it, actually, I thought of wrestling. I'm not going to kid, which is, I guess, the desired effect for some. But I'm like, oh, is that like I thought I just saw the WWE. You know what I mean? Like that's first, and so genius. Actually, kudos to you because that's pretty good. I
Well,
wanted
thank
to
you.
ask you real quick, Christy, if I may. I know that you have your stuff on Spotify. Is for
Yes.
when I say stuff, I mean your podcast. Is it on any other venue other than Spotify, or is that the only place where you could find you on there?
We are actually on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, Podchaser. We're pretty much everywhere. Everywhere that podcasts can be found, Apple Pods, Good Pods, you can find us everywhere.
Wow.
Thank you for asking. Yes.
Yeah, it's more than mine. Shit, I should be calling you. Gonna have to go back on your. Okay, you win. I'll go back on your show.
See, you got to
So
come back on my show. Exactly.
apparently, apparently all these years in radio haven't done shit for me. But anyway, I'm joking. I really admire you for
Oh, thank
the
you.
fact that you. I mean, you would have went live. You would have did whatever. It wouldn't have mattered to you because you are used to. I said to you a while ago that some people talk and then others speak. To me,
Yes.
you speak. And now I heard your podcast. For those that might have missed yours when I was on there, the reason I make mention of it is because it hit me like a friggin' thunderbolt. I've heard tons of them, and I read copy and I read scripts and stuff that's real and stuff that's not real, and so on and so forth. But the one that you said I should watch that one, and I'm looking and I'm scanning. I'm like, oh, okay, that's all right. This one would be good. Maybe. And then you sent me that one. I was driving at the time. I told you that. I had to
Yes.
pull over. It was just something that I saw that maybe other people didn't. Maybe I heard something that other people did. I know what to listen for, and it was very obvious to me. I'll let you expand on that later if you'd like. But to me,
Sure.
and then I started listening to some of the other ones. I didn't get through all of them yet because there's a lot, and they all seemed very good. They're very professionally done, and that's a testament, like I said, to you and the people that you have on your team there. I that one just really hit me. Can you make mention? Can you tell the people, tell our listeners and our viewers of which one I'm talking about? I'd like them. I'm
Sure.
sorry, I know you didn't want to promote that one so much. I felt the need to mention it, so now you're on the spot. You have to. Which is the one I'm talking about, Christy? Tell the people.
Everyone, Greg is talking about an episode called Life Sucker Punches. And that's where I was going through a lot of depression. Um, a lot of people don't know how close I was to my dad. I was very, very close to my dad. And he had the cancer and he had passed away. and I went through a lot of depression, ended up very, very sick in a lot of hospitals. I was bleeding in and out of my I'm just gonna get serious here with you, Greg. I was bleeding in and out of my rectum, and again, just a lot was going on, and I found out later that I had lupus. Well, lupus has caused a lot of damage to my body. As a lot of people can see, I am way overweight because of a damaged thyroid gland from lupus knocking me down. So I am, let's see, I talk funny because I've lost my teeth due to lupus. I have to clear my throat a lot because I can't speak properly. I have kidney issues from lupus. I was going through a lot of depression, and there's a lot of people out there that probably don't really care, and that's okay because I'm not here to please everybody else. I'm here to tell everybody what can happen when you're going through a serious illness. You can damage your body, and your body fights you because lupus is an autoimmune disease. It damages your organs, it damages your heart, it damages your brain, it damages your thyroid gland. And that can be very depressing, especially when you've had other family members that die from that.
Right.
So during this episode of Life Sucker Punches, I was crying to everybody. I was crying and screaming for someone to hear me, saying that depression is hard to see in people. What you may see on the outside is someone smiling and laughing through all the crap they hear daily. What you may see is someone smiling and laughing through somebody picking on them. What you may see on the outside is people smiling and laughing at people that were suicidal. You don't know what people are going through. Every day, people are battling things that we don't know about. So, in Life Sucker Punches, I let loose. I told everybody my story. I told everybody about how my father passed away, and I told everybody about some personal things that have happened to me when I was in my teens. I told everyone about being scared of being a lupus patient and dying and not knowing what's going to happen to my children. I told everyone what it felt like. I told everyone about the aggression and the anger. It's a very scary situation. So
Sounds like it.
In life sucker punches, I was crying for help. I was crying for someone just to hear me, just to listen to me, just to get past all the bullshit that you hear. People sit there and say some pretty mean things sometimes. And
Yeah.
sometimes those words hurt, and sometimes those words really stick with you. But I wanted people to know that there's other people out there that understand your issues. There's people out there that understand the problems that you may have. So never be afraid to reach out to somebody. Reach out and just let someone guide you and let someone hold your hand and let someone just hear you. And you'll be amazed at how much better you'll probably feel after that.
So it sounds that's very well put.
Thank you.
And it's very heartfelt. Now you could feel it, and that's what I'm saying. This is real, and to be able to, yeah, and you're going to get people like that, people that don't know any better. It's probably not all their fault. They probably weren't taught properly, so that's a slap in
Yes,
the face of their parents for not teaching their kids better. But that not everybody is like that. But it's more or less some people are scared too about sticking up for them because they don't know. And what do we do in life? A lot of people, since the beginning of time, they ridicule or they're scared of stuff that they don't understand. Like
absolutely.
I said, so I mean, you advocate for cancer, for lupus awareness, for autism, because you're knee deep in the trenches with this stuff, and it's not theoretically or it's just your children. My God, I don't even know what I would do, or just this one or that one. It's you as well. You are not at 100% help and still extending your hand and getting it off your chest and letting people know, hey, you're not alone. You might feel isolated, you might feel alone, but you're
But
really
you're not
not
alone.
alone. And it's the candor, it's the honesty. You can't put a price tag on that. It makes you priceless. It really does. That's
Absolutely.
how I feel about it. I have to go to I'm sorry, Christy, we got to go to a quick break here,
Sure.
but we're going to continue on with everything that you're saying. I'm well, like I said, I'm enjoying your company. It's sometimes it's rough to hear, but it's those subjects, the ones that you are difficult to talk about or maybe difficult to hear. You have to, and you're grappling with this or that. The ones that some people cringe, those are the ones that really need to be said out loud. There's no healing.
Yes.
That. Kristy Mickelsen is Mean Machine Radio Show live in New Jersey, 88.6 FM and PA. Kristy Mickelsen, more famous.
And now, live from your sister's closet, it's the Mean Machine Radio Show on New Jersey, 88 WWGAT.
This is probably the best station in the world.
That's right.
Okay, let's go.
Tune in to the Mean Machine Radio Show with Gregory Joseph on New Jersey, 88.6 WGAT. Your ultimate destination for real people, real life, and pop culture discussions. Join us for insightful conversations, special guests, and a lot of fun every week. Don't miss out on the excitement. Listen to the Mean Machine Radio Show. Rock me, baby.
A spork for the first time. What the hell is this thing? I almost killed myself. Seriously, I almost killed someone with a spork, and that person is me. I'm not kidding, man. I these are the things that prison riots are made from. I swear to God, who the hell thought of that? What a horrible idea. Either give me a spoon or give me a fork. What the hell am I going to do to spork? So I can't really pick anything up, and I can't really scoop anything because then I'll stab myself. Who'd have thought of that? And then who wanted to name it a spork? How about a foon? A foon would be, like a buffoon, like the friggin' guy who made that up. And once again, whoever invented pretzel bread, I hate you. But I love you. Anyway, back in 5. And then we're going to wrap things up here. Season 2 preview of the Mean Machine live from the great state of New Jersey. If you people know me. So the stuff is, and why is it the stuff that has no sugar in it is sweeter than anything else on earth? I mean, because it's obviously worse for you than the sugar itself. And now a lot of people's favorite part of every show that I do. Less filling, tastes like ass. All right,
I thought that would give a little levity. We needed to do that a little bit there, Christy. I hope you don't mind. That was well, it did taste like ass. What do you want me to do? A lot of people like that. Anyway, that's just me being like a silly goose, I guess. Anyway,
You're such a silly goose, Greg.
well, I've been called a lot worse, pal. I got to tell you. Anyway, that was then. But for those that are just coming in because we're coming off satellite, very clunky. What a beautiful scientific way to have a clunky sound when the satellite comes back on. So the 6-second delay went to 12 seconds. There we go. The only thing on air is the producer's brain. In any event, there we go. You were listening to the Mean Machine Radio Show on New Jersey 88.6 FM WGAT. I am Gregory Joseph. It is Easter Sunday of 2024. And we have our special guest, which is Kristy Mickelsen. She's an accomplished author. Her works are all over Amazon, and anywhere you can find books, you'll find her, which coincidentally, if you're following her on Twitter or you want to, it's at Kristy Books, Books. You can find her on there, and we're going to run her. We'll run the things on the bottom there for you, the little captions and whatnot. There's your podcast, and she's also an advocate for cancer, autism, and lupus awareness. That's sounds like a very busy job. I mean, I thought I was busy. That's a full schedule and then some, Christy. And you are now. Can we say what state you're in or no?
Sure. I'm in Texas, everybody.
I thought you were going to say shock. All right, that's fine. Texas. We don't do yeehaw here. This is Jersey. You could get us both killed. So,
Yeehaw, baby.
but you're not originally from Texas, are you?
No, I'm actually from California. California.
There you go, California girls. And
Gotta love us.
Now you prefer the Central Time Zone. I'm guessing, is that what it is, or
Texas is way better. My family in California is going to kill me here, but Texas is way better. It's had lots more opportunities, not just for myself, but for my children as well. You know, in California, they don't really do a lot for people with autism. You can barely find jobs for them. They get a lot of bullying from people in California. But here in Texas, they've had so many opportunities. In fact, my son was in pro wrestling training just 2 years ago, and that's something he always wanted to do. As an autistic, he was very obsessed with WWE. And in California, all the wrestling schools were like, no, we're not going to touch anything with autism. You know, that's a liability for us. We can't do it. Here in Texas, they welcome it. And so lots of opportunities here. And I'm very glad we made the switch.
Yeah, you said that. And don't worry about that. I don't think anybody watches me in California or listens. So it's okay. But that's all right. It's because it's a little bit too early for them. I appreciate what you're saying, though. So you do like Texas better. I was only in the airport in Dallas. I was never actually um, in Texas, but I'm going to have to check it out. But I have been to California. Not really for me. Not saying that it's bad. It's just not for me. Some people are East
Right.
Coast. Some people are West Coast. It's just the way it is. And you're mid coast. But the fact that it's better for your family, and I noticed you said that you didn't say for you. See, I pick up on things that you
Yeah.
immediately gravitated right to. It was better for my children. It was better for my family and everything. You're like third, fourth, somewhere on that list, I would think. But
I always put
that's you.
myself last. Yeah.
Well,
I put myself last.
Well, that's really love, right? When you put somebody else's needs in front of your own. That's one way
Absolutely.
to define it, I would think. So before we went to break, and there it is on the bottom there. It's the WWAA. That reminds me of batteries now. The WWAA podcast on Spotify. And it's pretty good because it's a mixture of stuff. I saw like sexy, juicy stuff. I saw real, like poignant stuff and everything. And so I get it because my listeners and my audience, they're confused as hell too. What the hell? He was doing sports stuff not too long ago. I confused the YouTube algorithm as well. They're like, oh, here's your sports stuff. I mean, what is this? So but the fact that you have variety on there, that's a little something for everybody, and I like
That's
that.
the point. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want something for everybody. You don't always want it to be serious. You don't always want it to be sports. You don't always want, romance books and stuff like that. You want serious. You want funny. You want sex. You want everything in
All
there.
right,
You know what I
take it
mean?
easy. Let's keep this clean. This could be a family show. It might be the Adams family, but it's still
The
a
Addams
family
family,
show.
right?
Obviously, I'm kidding, but this isn't the nice machine. You're good. But we would have it no other way. We're waiting for you to bust loose, Christy. Bust loose. You're like, we want sex. I'm like, you know what? I gotta go. But
You put a romance author on your show. Come on, Greg. What do you expect?
feeling very romantic. No offense. It's not only just you, but it's also I could smell the food that's cooking because it's Easter and I haven't eaten through, and that's romantic.
Food
That's
is the best
fire,
way to the
baby.
heart, right?
It's through the stomach. You've got it. All right. So that what I do and being on the radio and everything, but the fact that you enjoy podcasting more than putting words to paper and telling your story. Do you ever think about like not analyzing, but I would say verbally, like actually like an audiobook. Do you do that as well, or no? Is it kind of separate? Like here's the book and here's the podcast. Do you ever want to put voice to the podcast, like
I
an
think I see where
audible
you're
thing?
going.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't. Thank God somebody does.
Truthfully, no. Like I said, I started with the books fell in love with the writing. And then when I got into podcasting, it totally changed everything in my spectrum here. And I was like, I want to get other people's messages out, not just my own. So I don't really want to use a podcast for my books or to go on and talk like that. I want people to come on my show and tell their story because they may have so much built up aggression that they need to get out and they don't know how. Or they might have depression to where they feel like they're suicidal and they need someone to talk to. So they get to come onto my show and talk and find help because we direct them in places where they may get some help. Or maybe they're an author who doesn't know where to go. And so they come onto my show and we get them some more exposure. Or we get to talk to these really wonderful guys named Mean Machine Radio who come onto my podcast and we
Goddamn
talk.
right.
You're
Yeah.
damn right. Yes. We get them on the podcast and we get more people listening to their shows that way. Not that you needed any help because, good Lord, you've already got a good pocket full of people there. But, we
Got a
love
pocket
having
full
you.
of something. I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, probably bills. But I
And
appreciate you saying that. That's very nice. Look, it's a collaboration. There's people that are
absolutely.
that would have no idea who Gregory Joseph is in Jersey or whatever, and they just know. And now there's people that who the hell is Kristy Mickelsen and what is she? Well, obviously there's people here in New York and New Jersey that are, I'm sure, going through similar, um,
Yes.
trials and tribulations, that kind of thing. So it's nice to be able to balance it off because it's a win-win for everybody. You have a choice. People have a choice, and it's more choices. It's always fun, and you gravitate to what you like. You might not be in the mood for the Mean Machine. I don't know how that's possible, but still, you might not be in the mood for me. But they might be in the mood to listen to you or have a family member. Hey, watch this lady Christy. She's really good. It's very good. Yeah, that's a win-win because you have an
Absolutely.
audience already. You have a very good following, and it's growing exponentially. And
Well,
so,
thank
more
you.
exposure. Nothing wrong with that. There's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Absolutely. And I just want to kind of tell your listeners, you know, in Life Sucker Punches, that episode that we were talking about, I got very personal. And not everybody cares about that. And I understand that. They're going to care about what they want to care about. They're going to say what they want to say. They're going to put down people and they're going to some might lift you up. It depends, but it's coming onto a podcast or letting yourself go in a podcast is very therapeutic. Like I was talking to you about when you were on my show.
I was just thinking about that. Yep.
It is very therapeutic because you get to state how you feel without people coming on and saying mean things to you. You get to come on and say how you feel without, I don't know how to explain it, Greg. I'm not going to lie. You get very emotional behind that mic because that mic is your best friend at that moment in time.
Right.
And you get to spill your guts. And all of a sudden, you're not wanting to go out and end everything because you're behind the mic. You're getting to tell your story. You're getting to express how you feel. And so, being behind the mic in that episode of Life Sucker Punches on the podcast, let me cry in front of people. Let me explain to people that I was going through a hard time because the one person that understood me in my life, who was my dad, was gone. And I was going through that pain. The one person that stood up for me when I went through a lot of things from a different family member who had hurt me, he was gone. A person that I loved dearly who took a lot of my pain and stuff away when I was going through that depression when my dad died had killed himself. So being behind the mic let me express all that grief that I had held inside. So Life Sucker Punches, when you heard that, you were hearing me scream out for help, for someone just to listen. And I wanted to personally come on here and tell your listeners, thank you. Thank you for being the person that you are, Greg, because you listened. You didn't put anybody down. You listened. And that is something not a lot of people know how to do today. You listened and you were there and you spoke to me and you made things right. So thank you, Greg, Mean Machine. Thank you so much for listening because sometimes that's all it takes is just to listen to someone else. So thank you.
there's so many different things I can say after that, but I'm just going to stick with you're welcome.
Thank you.
So I wanted to, and I know that comes from the heart, and I really do appreciate that because if we're human beings, and if we're not going to help each other, who's going to do it? You know,
Absolutely.
and it's yeah, I heard you. Maybe other people didn't. I did, and sometimes that's all you need is that one person.
So one person.
I
That's right.
told you I pulled over. I should have kept driving because people drive like absolute dog shit around here. I should have just kept going. Go, oh my god! But I didn't do that. I did. I pulled over and then I replayed it in the parking lot. I didn't tell you this before. Um, I'm drinking my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I'm not a fan of Dunkin' Donuts. I'm a fan of Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Let's get this straight.
Okay. My mistake from the last time. I'm sorry there, Greg.
Please, I'm diabetic. You're trying to kill me. So I had to listen to it again, and then again, as many times as it took because I felt that you were worth it, and I didn't see it as ratings. I didn't see it as this or that. I saw you as
Thank you.
Christy. I have an uncanny ability. I'm not saying other people can't, but I know that I can. And I'm glad that you feel better because mine also came from the heart as well. And
Thank you.
our paths crossed for whatever reason. And I can't explain why, but I'm sure glad that it did. Um, I wanted to, I mean, obviously, we're going to have you back at another time. It's hard to get everything in.
Yes.
And we do have to wrap it up a little bit, but I wanted people to know, for maybe those that didn't come in and don't know how to hit rewind on a video. So over on Spotify, you know the kind. That's right, the ones like this with the cell phone. What? So,
Right.
yeah, is it daytime or nighttime? I don't know. I didn't get a notification. Just look out the goddamn window. The fuck? Anyway, for those that might have missed it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Please tell people where they can find your works, so to speak, and your
Sure.
different sites, and where we could find you on your social media. I've ran some of it, but if you don't mind repeating that in
Sure.
closing here, maybe a couple of final thoughts from the lady herself. There you go, Miss Mickelsen himself. Go
Well,
ahead.
thank you so much, Greg. And people can actually follow me on most social media platforms, including x.com, Instagram, Twitter, or excuse me, TikTok, Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. You can follow me by just doing a name search, Kristy Mickelsen. You can find my books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Apple Pods. They're pretty much everywhere. So just, again, do a name search. You'll find me all over the internet. And again, you can find WWAA Podcast. That's WWAA Podcast on Spotify, our iHeart, Good Pods, Apple Pods. We're pretty much everywhere again with that. And yeah, thank you so much for being on here. But I do want to leave your listeners, if it's okay with you, Greg, with one final message.
Of course, it's okay with me. You are a special guest. Please. Go
All
ahead.
right. Every day, people are battling things that we know nothing about. Sometimes it's illness. Sometimes it's depression. Sometimes it's people are being abused at home that they don't tell anybody about. Every day, people are battling things that we know nothing about. So it is up to all of us. It is up to all of us. Just be kind to one another. Stand up and be the voice for people that can't be a voice anymore for themselves. I get told daily, you're overweight. Just go to the gym. You're overweight. Do this, when nobody knew that I'm actually fighting medical diseases. Every day, people are battling things that we know nothing about. So please, everyone, just be kind to one another. Sometimes all it takes is going down the street and you see someone and you say, hey, I like your hair today. Or you know what you said touched me. Or you know what, you're beautiful regardless. Every day people are battling things that we know nothing about. So just be kind to one another. Stand up, be the voice for another. Be the one to make that difference, because you might be the one to save a life. With that, I'm going to say thank you very much, Greg. Thank you for having me on here. And I do apologize. I want to apologize to your listeners because I'm actually in an active lupus flare right now. So I feel a little breathless and I feel a little brain dazed, I guess you can say, like when
Well,
you have go for
I
it.
was just
Yes.
going to say, don't worry about it because my audience is automatically brain dazed. So you don't have to apologize. You'll fit right in. You'll fit right in,
Perfect.
like a glove. This is Jersey. Yeah, we don't. You know, we don't worry about that. But I do, in all seriousness, thank you because
Thank you.
you're not just. I mentioned it earlier, just you and I, and I'm going to mention it anyway. I know you might get mad, but I'm always used to girls being mad at me. I'm used to it. But when I asked how you wanted me to announce you, and I said, "Do you want me to have you?" And you said you wanted it to be as an advocate, which you are. That is the truth. And you remember how I wanted to, or what I came up with initially of how I wanted to
Yes.
announce you. I'm going to say it anyway. My show, I could do it. So, which I couldn't do on yours. You are a warrior. I
Yes.
wanted to
Thank you.
announce you as Kristy Mickelsen, aka Cancer, Lupus, and Autism Warrior, because you are. You're a lot stronger than you think. And,
Thank you.
some women are just really gorgeous and everything. Not only are you gorgeous, but you're beautiful inside. And that people
Thank
can
you.
only tell. All you have to do is say a couple of sentences, Christy, and you're already there. You're already there. You got them on the hook already. You know that. Come on. You're going to start
Thank you so
charging for
much, Greg.
this. You're welcome. No, you deserve it because it can't be easy. But look at the way that you present yourself, the way that you carry yourself. I am not impressed by a lot of things. I was impressed when they opened the Empire State Building, but other than that, I'm just being funny because we need the levity. Otherwise, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna start drinking after 12 years. I can't
Don't
be
do that.
responsible for that. I miss it. No, I'm kidding. But you deserve it. I mean, you're a warrior, and I think
Thank
a
you
lot
so
of
much.
people should revere you, and I think they should listen to your podcast. I think that they
Thank
should
you.
reach out to you if they, I mean, because you're always got your hand out. You have one hand that you're helping your family with, and the other open hand instead of doing something for yourself, metaphorically speaking, obviously, it's a hand for others. That's a special person that does that. And you
Well,
can
thank
take
you
that
so
to heart
much.
because I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and I mean both of those things. So thank you
Thank
so
you
much
very
for
much,
being
Greg.
here. We're honored by having someone of your caliber on here, and there's no bullshit. I mean that a lot. You know,
Thank you.
I like goofing around. I like having fun, and I know you do too. But it was time for some serious stuff. So on this Easter Sunday, where a lot of people are thinking and being with family, some that can be and some that might not be able to, you are providing the one thing that you can provide for people that you don't even know, and that's yourself. And that's very selfless for you to do. Thank you so much, Christy.
Thank
You
you.
are,
And happy Easter, everybody.
yeah, and happy Easter. I hope you found all your eggs. I can't find shit. I
I
mean,
can't find, yeah, I know.
I don't. I'm gonna hide them. We'll go buy eggs during the week when the prices go back down. That's where we're pretty much at 2024. I got to wait till next Thursday. Um, so,
Right.
but absolutely understandable. But, ladies and gentlemen, we will have her back, Kristy Mickelsen. Thanks, Christy.
Thank you, Greg. Good
Happy
night,
Easter.
everyone. Happy Easter.
She's so smooth, isn't she? Man, I wish I sounded like her. Take care, Christy. Oh, there you have it, folks. Really cool human being. And when I use the word cool, you know what I'm talking about. Rock on, Christy. I know she can hear me, so that's pretty awesome. I tell people that I really want to tell them a rock on. She is a rock star in every sense of the word. I wanted to thank everybody that came in and listened and spent your time today watching, like I said, or listening on WGAT on 88.6 FM, and for spending your Easter Sunday, or at least part of it, with me, Gregory Joseph, with Christy, and of course, part of the Mean Machine radio show. It's a family, baby. You can find us on Twitter at Gregory Joseph 70. And then of course, everything else, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, your sister's ass, the whole 9 yards. It's at Mean Machine 973. Of course, our YouTube and our Spotify, which this and other episodes will be on. Larry Hankin, the actor and writer, will be on next Sunday here on the Mean Machine Radio Show. So you don't want to miss that. But in the meantime, have a great Easter Sunday, everybody. Thanks for spending your time here on the Mean Machine Radio Show. And I want to say good night, take care, and say a prayer from the great state of New Jersey. Take care, everybody. God bless you. Peace.